everybody to the channel. I'm Raino. Y'all are watching the Eldredge Fam. Take a look at our garden. It is doing pretty well, and I've got something that we're working on today to hopefully make it a whole lot better. If you look into our front yard, you can see there are some dark patches of green grass, but there's a lot of green, light green grass. Like, look at that. Look at the difference between the dark and the light grass. The dark grass is better soil fertilized. The light green is where it is struggling for nutrients. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a DIY liquid fertilizer infuser. There's a lot of different names for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to show you guys that, but before I do that, I actually wanted to come out here and snack on some of these peas. Unfortunately, we have had some issues with our garden as of recent, and that is a mole has been coming and eating the bottoms of the plants. Actually, I'll just show you over here, and been killing them. So the mole has killed over half of our plants. You can see it looks like he may have come in and ate the bottoms of these ones off too. Oh, right here. Came through, you can see he's popped up right there. He comes and just eats the bottom and it kills the plant, which is a huge bummer because these are just really starting to produce. I mean, you can see there is a lot of peas on here right now, which we're absolutely loving and enjoying. It's just unfortunately very short-lived. Here we are in our gigantic greenhouse. This is kind of a workshop for me in the evenings and stuff. We do have lights in here, which we'll probably end up kicking on. It's getting dark. But we've got this greenhouse built. We're planting stuff in it. We're not really doing much planting in it right now because we're going into the hottest part of the year, which when it's the hottest part of the year, we don't really want to be using the greenhouse. So next year during the summer, we probably will, but this is really going to be for our fall and early spring planting where we can get our plants in here, get them planted and have crops, mostly cucumbers, peppers, onions, potatoes, tomatoes, in times of the year when nobody else can. So that's kind of the goal with this. Follow along as we do that over the next couple of months. But today we are going to be attacking the fertilizer diffuser like I was mentioning to you guys earlier. So I'm going to run through the parts really quick, and if y'all stick around to the end of the video, I will give you the price breakdown on building this diffuser versus buying one. Yes, you can go buy it, but I am like the DIY guy. If you guys have been following the channel, you know I will tackle any project and I'm just going to go for it head first. And if it turns out, it turns out. Most of the time it does. So that's no different in today's video. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm excited about it because I have got some fertilizer and I want to get fertilizer on our plants. We're going to be using this not only in our greenhouse, but also in our garden. It makes it so that we can deliver liquid fertilizer directly to our plants without having to do anything crazy. It's a really simple setup. I am beyond excited about the sponsor of today's video, Rainpoint. They sent us their 2-zone watering system. Let me tell you guys a little bit about it. We are using the 2-zone watering system for our garden and our flower beds. It's super easy to set up. They've got an app with really good instructions. You're able to go in, connect it all to your phone so that you can control it from the comfort of your house. It also has a weather station where you get the temperatures, the humidities, when your next scheduled watering is, as well as how much water is being used. Setting up an automated irrigation timer is super easy. You go to plan, hit the plus icon, and then you're able to go in and set the time, the date, the duration, and how frequently you want it to run. So I like to water my plants at night, so we have ours set for 5 a.m. every morning for about 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. If we have to make an adjustment, we will down the road. If you guys are looking for the simplest way to have an automatic watering system that you can monitor to make sure that it's working, Rainpoint has got you covered. I will leave a link down in the description. Be sure to go check them out. Use our code to get 15% off of your purchase. This is the best watering system that we have ever had. We've got it set up for the greenhouse as well as the garden, and I am loving the way that it's working. So if you got pots on your front porch you need watered, or a whole garden, or some flower beds, be sure to go check them out because you'll find something that will work for your needs. Here is what all of the parts you need, as well as a PVC pipe. You've got your hose connectors on either end, a couple of T fittings. These are all 3/4 inch, by the way. A 3/4 inch ball valve, a threaded 90 for each side, and then our suction hose. And this is our Venturi part. So the idea here is your water will come in here. If you don't want fertilizer, you're not using fertilizer, you'll have the ball valve open. Your water will run straight through to wherever your watering system is. if you decide you're like, oh, yep, we're ready to start adding some fertilizer, you'll close this partially or all the way, which will make the water come through and pull the fertilizer out of your bucket or whatever you've got it in, pull it in and add it directly into your system. So I've never done this before. We're going to put it together, see how it works out. It's pretty simple, I'm thinking. I'm just going to throw it together real quick. I'll show you guys how I do that. You'll also want, I almost forgot, you'll want some PVC pipe glue and some good PVC pipe cutters. These ones are very, very dull, and I should have just bought a new one. A new blade is almost as much as a new tool. So just buy a new one. I think a new one's like 15 bucks. They're really not that bad. So the first thing I'm going to do here is take my Teflon tape and add that to the threaded portion here, so that way we don't get any leaks. It doesn't take much. Maybe three or four wraps here. Now the way you put this together is fairly important, because if you get it together wrong, there's no undoing it. So I'm going to start by screwing on both of my 90-degree angles. By the way, this is one directional, so make sure you have it the right direction. My hose comes in this way, the water's going to be coming this way. So I got to make sure I got that in the right direction. Screw both of the 90s on. Now that's going to set my distance for my two uprights. That should work. We'll go ahead and make two of those. Make sure everything is, you know, pretty much the exact same length. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want it within a couple millimeters. Just kidding, I don't even know how big a millimeter is. Just get them as close as you can. We'll go ahead and glue. I believe we want to glue these into here. And then we can measure and cut and glue our top section. Now you could use primer. I did irrigation and landscape, PVC pipe landscape installing for a couple of years. That was one of my first businesses, actually, was doing... If you guys didn't know, that stuff is absolutely toxic to breathe in. Whew. But I did landscaping for a while. We really didn't use primer on anything that wasn't our main line. The main line with the main pressure. This is not going to have that much pressure, so primer, you can do it, but it would be a little overkill. Oh, and I just found out I have a cut in my finger. Holy cow, that hurts. Go ahead, and I'll just kind of lightly push those on. If you'll push them on too far, you're going to have a hard time getting it apart, but that shouldn't be too bad there. So we can measure now and see how big of a piece we need for that. I would say it's about right there. Now I'm going to do my ball valve this way. That way I can mount this to somewhere in the greenhouse or whatever and not have the ball valve in the way of opening and closing. I know if I put it this way, then I can open and close it without ever, you know, if I was to mount this on the wall, I'd have a hard time opening it. Where if I mount it like that, then I'll be able to open it no matter what way I'm going. There we go. Now I need to measure. That's almost dead on. I think that's going to work perfectly. Now this is the crucial one. That stuff dries in about 4 seconds. So you really got to be on top of it. Moment of truth. Uh-oh. Shucks, y'all. Okay. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's messy. Very messy. So the last thing we got to do is add our hose in and our hose out ports. So I'll just go ahead and cut those. Those can really be whatever length you want. I'm going to leave mine a little long just for the heck of it. But still try and make them about the same size. Hopefully y'all can still see me. It is getting dark. We'll go ahead and throw this on here. All I can say is I hope this works. You know what this reminds me of? When I was a kid, we used to build like marshmallow launchers with PVC pipe where you put the marshmallow in and shoot it out. This reminds me of that. So there you have it. 3/4 inch PVC pipe, all of the fittings, the venturi and all that. We're going to go ahead and test it. Let's hook it up to the hose and see what it does. This is super easy to hook up. Literally. Just like this. Now, when I actually install this into the greenhouse, I want to move this water spigot into the greenhouse or add one into the greenhouse. So this will get set up a little bit different. But this, I guess, is just a proof of concept because I want to make sure this actually works. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Well, we're going to find out together. But the idea here is you fill up your liquid fertilizer mixture in your 5-gallon bucket. I will have to run a couple of tests and stuff to figure out what settings work the best, but then I'll be able to diffuse liquid fertilizer right into our plants, which will be amazing. Almost like a hydroponic system. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this bucket up really quick. So I think in theory, when I turn this, it should stop sucking water, or stop spraying water and start sucking water. It is decreasing it, but it's still sucking. Maybe I got too much pressure here. Let's try that. Okay, okay, there we go. It is sucking. So let's put this on here. Put this in the bucket. See that water? Look at that, y'all. Oh my gosh. It is working. So I'll let it suck in some air. Y'all see that? I should have dyed this blue or something so y'all could see it better, but that is working. A funny thing happened with this whole situation. The venturi, I don't even know if they call that that. This black part that I bought had a stopper ball in there, but Maverick took this apart and we lost that ball. So that ball is supposed to keep it from outflowing, because when I have this open right now, it's actually spraying out water, as you guys saw. So that ball seats and stops that water from backflowing. So when you get it, it won't do that. It'll suck, but it won't blow, because that's going to be an issue. So I may have to just buy another one that has the ball seated on it so that it doesn't outflow. But it's pretty amazing that as I close this, it turns around and starts sucking the water instead of blowing it. Absolutely amazing. There it goes. I could not be happier. I am beyond stoked that that works. That was super easy, did not take much work at all to put together. Pretty much from stuff that I had laying around. So I'm gonna have to get this now like fully set up. You guys know we've got the automated 2-zone timer that we're gonna be hooking up here. which will be really nice because I can have the fertilizer set up, ready to go, and it will automatically click on, fertilize everything for me. Same thing on the garden. We do have it already set up on the garden. So I am beyond excited about this. So I'll see y'all in the morning when it's a little bit lighter to finish getting this set up. Devastation has struck. Oh my gosh.
There's no way we're getting that back on today either.
I totally forgot. I'm an idiot.
You didn't reattach
I didn't reconnect it. I didn't think it was going to be windy, but I did not reconnect it. Maverick just came running into me and said, "The plastic is off the greenhouse." Oh, Mom. You have to be freaking kidding me.
Do we need to go cover anything?
Well, let's go grab it. We need to make it so it's all in a pile and not all over. Oh my gosh, I'm devastated.
Okay, really quick.
I am devastated. Well, maybe. Let's go look. Yeah, the whole Blue Eddy and or not the Blue Eddy is fine, but all my welding stuff is in there too. That was, no. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Yeah, I see the fly off.
You saw it fly off? You watched it?
Uh-huh.
Holy cow. So Marcy and I were taking a quick nap because, as you saw, our day started at 4:30 this morning. The boys, the twins, went down for a nap, so we figured we'd catch one too. And this is what we get. Honest goose. I honestly can't believe it blew off. Wow, it actually has rained quite a bit. Maverick says it just blew off though. Yeah, it just blew off. It hasn't been blown off for very long. The ground in here is barely wet. So I gotta get my welding and my power tools out of here. Why? Oh my gosh. All right, well, we're gonna try and at least move this a little bit and get it so the plastic doesn't just completely tear apart. This sucks. It's so much work to get that plastic up over. So much work. Well, now we can actually patch the plastic better because it was hard to patch where I couldn't reach it.
Go to patch it and then unhook everything?
No, remember I unhooked it to let it to stretch it, and I never went and hooked it back on.
I know that.
Yeah, I unhooked this side and never hooked it back
I don't know why
on.
you're obsessed with stretching plastic. It's kind of annoying.
You gotta stretch it, otherwise it blows off.
I was
Okay.
enjoying a nap. Hardest part was straightening it out.
Straightening it out. Well, so it does have...
We are not doing it in the wind.
No, we
Don't
tried
care.
to do it when it was this windy the first time. So we're not going to do that. But thankfully, it's already connected. Hopefully, that's not going to blow off. I'm going to finish attaching it the rest of the way. And then we have the bar, so we can tie the bar to rope over. And then we'll be able to just pull it, and it should just pull back over. We might have to get one more person just to make it easier. And have 3 ropes tied and pull the whole thing over. But
Yeah,
what a bummer.
I feel like it can't be worse than it was.
Yeah. And now I can actually patch
Unless
the
you made
hole a
us
little
do
bit
it right
better.
now, then it would probably be worse because
Yeah.
it was super wet where it wasn't wet when we did it really.
Bummer, bummer,
Okay,
bummer.
let's cover everything in.
Yeah, let's get the rest of the stuff
Where
put
it's
up.
warm.
It does feel good out here, honestly. I mean, it's a little cold, but...
I wonder where that bush is. You were stepping on
I know.
it.
I think really the only thing we need out of here is the welder.
What about the chainsaw?
No, it'll be alright.
Yeah, and my toys over there are all right too.
Yeah, they're alright.
I feel
Thankfully, the
so
pool
bad.
is waterproof.
Yeah. I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's over there in that bucket.
Well, there's not, and neither are my tools.
Maybe go look around and see if Daddy left any tools anywhere else in the greenhouse.
The bird's okay.
Yep, the plants are okay.
Oh, there's over here.
Yeah, the
Pressure washers are
pressure washer's good.
Well, we're getting new
Yeah,
rain.
Tiller.
The tiller's okay.
Did you say get a new?
It's only going to get rained on for today and tomorrow. So, and we're not even supposed to get that much more rain. I don't think. I say that, and it's probably going to be a torrential downpour. In a way, it sucks, 100%. I wish it didn't happen. But the ground is so hard everywhere in here that this hopefully will actually soften it, and I can till it and finish smoothing it out.
We can get rid of our forest.
Without having to put the...
I just can't believe those plants grew so freaking crazy right there because nowhere else, like, you don't look.
Really plant. I mean, there were some right here, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is it wasn't even that windy. It's not even that windy today. Wind is 15 to 20 miles an hour, but it just happened to be a perfect storm all together where I left the sides rolled up. Goose, here. I left the sides rolled up and the wind caught them from the right direction and picked it up and flipped it over. I wish I had it on video of it being picked up and flipped over. Maverick said he watched it. Was it pretty cool?
Yeah.
Was it like a giant kite?
Yeah.
Show me what it did.
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, that brings us to now. I guess we've got it hopefully taken care of. I rolled down the other side so the wind can't catch it again, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I guess tomorrow's project is going to be trying to get that put back on. It's not an easy task, but hopefully it won't take us too long and we'll get things back up and running. We've got some exciting stuff that we're doing in there. I was actually supposed to do it right now, but now it's raining and I can't really get in there to do it. So it's gonna have to wait until it's done raining. Well, y'all, it is time to tackle this project, getting this put back over. It's the next day. The wind is very calm right now. Supposed to be calm the rest of the day, although it probably won't be. I've got Marcy, she's coming out here. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this put back up and fixed. I hope it's not too much of a hassle. I don't know how hard it's gonna be. Once we get it halfway, it's going to be super easy. So that's the biggest part. We got to get it halfway and then it'll just kind of slide over, but it's going to be quite the project because it's heavy. It's heavy. It's awkward. It's a long piece. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to give it our best try. And y'all are along for the journey, watching us struggle with this, watching us try our best to get this plastic put back over it. Gotta find some rope. Halftime update, Mars. Easier or harder than the first time?
Depends. We're way not as high as we were the first time.
I think it's way easier. There's no wind.
Well, we haven't got to the top yet.
All right, here we go.
So, it took us about 20 minutes to get that on. And I'm glad we did it right then because I wanted to go get in the shower and Kendall was like, well, we can either do it right now while the kids are in a nap or we can do it tonight. And I was like, well, I just finished working out, so let's do it right now so that I can go shower and get dressed for the day. And I'm glad I did because I was using my head to lift that up. And now my hair's all gross. And there are so many frogs underneath that tarp over there. When I was picking it up on the outside, it was just frog, frog, frog.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's from the freaking pond. So I have tied it down. I can't believe we got that. It was way easier doing it this way. Honestly, if I win, we have to redo this plastic because we are going to have to redo it eventually. This plastic's already pretty beat up. But what I would do is lay it out. If you have an area big enough to lay it out, attach your rod and then drag that over. It's way easier than dragging the whole thing of plastic. So that's probably what I would do next time. Just based off of our experience this time, it helped a ton. But it's back, lined back up. Now we can re-stretch it and do that whole deal again. It is kind of a pain in the butt to do. I hate that I have to do it again. But at least we have our greenhouse back somewhat. I'll get it all taken care of and then show you guys it put back together. I've got my fertilizer mix here. You can see I just added it into the bucket here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on and get it mixed up. Now, I told you all last night that this is missing the ball valve, so it actually is pushing out water, which I think for right now is gonna work because I'm actually gonna use that to fill up the bucket with water and mix my fertilizer. And then when I go and turn the ball valve, it will then suck the fertilizer and actually go and water the lawn. So I'm watering the yard with it right now. I want to put down a little bit of fertilizer in the front yard because as you can see, there's some different shades of green out there. I want it all to be that dark green color, you know, kind of like that. So fertilizing it should help. We're going to give it a try. Keep you guys updated in a week or two when it's actually all finished. Once the fertilizer's actually had time to set in a week or two, we'll see how it looks, but hopefully it's going to help a lot. Pretty simple here, just mixing that in all together. One of the other things, I don't know if I mentioned on here, is if you push one of these buttons, it'll turn on or off the zone. So it's really convenient. I don't have to go in there and like adjust anything if I want water just temporary. I just push that and it'll run it. I do have a little bit of a leaky hose I think I need to fix. All right, y'all, well, it's sucking down fertilizer. One of the problems we have, and I've got to fix it, is our well has an air leak. I've tried to fix it like 4 or 5 times and I just can't seem to get it right. So when air comes forcing through, then it will backflow the fertilizer. But right now that it's not blowing air, it is sucking the fertilizer out and broadcasting it into our yard. So I'm excited with that. We'll see how it does over the long run. Hopefully it does really, really well. And we'll be able to really green up our yard, feed our garden, feed our greenhouse. That is the goal. So I'm gonna let this run for a little bit. Like I said though, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of testing to see what exactly my ratios need to be as far as fertilizer, how fast it drinks it, how fast it broadcasts it, all of that kind of stuff. But y'all saw the greenhouse get wrecked yesterday. I've gotten it pretty much put back together. Let me show you guys what it looks like now. Here it is. It's put back together. I do have to finish that end over there. I haven't finished stretching that end, but we did get it like way tighter than we had it before it blew off. So it was kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. Mostly a bad thing. Actually, I'd say mostly a good thing because now it's all stretched out and actually tight. But I'm pretty happy with it now. All I got to do is finish that end wall over there. Thankfully, the damage wasn't worse than it was. We did have a couple new tears, a couple new holes that we ended up patching in the plastic. That plastic is then going to end up getting replaced, I think, next year. Hopefully, we'll make it through at least one growing season with it. But that's where we're at on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, you learned something. If you did, go down, hit the subscribe button, follow along. We've got our baby ducks that just hatched, and I'm excited to show you all those in the next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all on the next video.